Welcome. In this tutorial, I will show you how to use the ultimate annual budget spreadsheet, which I just created to track your income, manage expenses, and stay in control of your finances throughout the year. By the end of this video, you will know how to set up the spreadsheet, record your transactions, track bills, and monitor your financial progress. To begin with, we're going to start with the dashboard setup. Here is where you set the items that you're going to be tracking all through the year. I've created different sections. We have the fixed expenses, uh, we have the income, fixed expenses, variable expenses, debt, and savings. You can also set your currency here to match the currency in your country, and other categories can also be set. Please note that you can change the headings here to what suits you. If you don't want to call it income or you just want to call it inflow, it's good. You list the items under your income or for each categories here. After doing that, you don't need to make any changes to this section. Whatever you input here automatically reflects here. Let me show you an example. Here, number one is rent. If I change it, let me start with this. I have a paycheck here. If I change it to salary, automatically this changes to salary. Can you see that? So, well, let's leave it as paycheck, but you can give it the name that suits you most. Now, the income category, once this is set, you can choose if it's an income, fixed expense, variable expense, debt, or savings. Then we continue. You can also input the names of the banks that you currently use. I just put this as a default name, but you can rename it to whatever suits you. After setting the currency and put in all the items that you need, then you can go to your bank account. Here, I'm sure you have different bank accounts, so you just put the names of the bank account must be imputed here in your dashboard setup, right? So once you input it, automatically you see it in this drop down. You can select the one that is applicable, then you choose the date your bank statement starts from. If it is January 1, you choose January 1. Then also you can also choose set the date you are tracking to. For the opening balance, this is the opening balance in your statement as at the beginning of the period you are about to track, or the beginning of the year. As for the inflow and outflow, you don't need to do anything. It's automated from your inputs, so just leave it the way it is. Once you update your daily transactions or your budget, it's going to automatically reflect here. Then you have your balance here. If you have any upcoming payment that has not yet been captured, you can input it here manually. Then you have the balance after here. Then you see the amount needed. That's all you need to do on your bank tracker. In a nutshell, this is the only area where you have to manually input and display, where you can manually input figures. Every other thing, this is a drop down. This is a date. Just double click or press enter. The date picker is going to pop up, and every other thing continues. The next thing you want to do is to set your budget, right? So the beautiful thing about this budget is that you don't have to come back every month or every week or every day to update transactions that are frequent. For example, if your paycheck is weekly or monthly, all you need to do, select the item paycheck, input the amount, or let me just use this as an example. Let's say your paycheck so it's coming it's 500, and it's starting from January. So you're going to, if it's a weekly payment, you can select weekly, right? And you need, it is very important that you input the end date, right? Let's say you are expecting this 500 weekly for the next 6 months. That means by the end of June, by the end of June, it's going to automatically, the category will update itself. You don't need to press anything, right? After doing that, you can also do the same for your expenses. Let's say for electricity, let's say you spend 50 on electricity monthly. You can also go back and set to monthly here, and you choose monthly. You choose the period you think it might extend to. Let's say up till December, you expect to be spending $50 monthly on your electricity. After that is done, you don't need to do anything on these tables. They are going to update by themselves. You can input your to-do list and your goals here and check them when it's achieved. So what you just did in your budget, you might be wondering, where is it going? Here is where it comes. It flows into your monthly tracker, right? This is the item you just included, which is your paycheck too, right? So automatically it pops in here. You can see it in your calendar. Electricity, electricity. So you don't have to budget for electricity twice. So you select, you can also do the same for expense. For example, let's say you want to budget for transport and your transport is $100 in a month. You select the date from the date picker, then you choose the frequency monthly. You expect it to remain the same from up till December. So what you have just done is that as you've selected transport, it automatically drops in your calendar. For example, let's say we set from the beginning of the month, which is on the first, you see transport 100. Since you put it on a monthly, you're going to see it the following month also on the first. Can you see transport? It's also showing there. So that is the simple way to go about your budgeting. You don't have to do too much typing, and you can just set it once and for all, and it runs throughout the year. The same applies to your, this is where you input your actual figures. For example, let's say at the end of the um on this particular day you spent, or for this particular in the month of March you received, for freelance you received 700, right? So automatically you don't need to input any figure here. Just choose the bank where you received the payment into. Let's say current to, but of course it's an inflow because you received, so it's going to tell us you can put your text. It's optional. Just say freelance income. Just say freelance income. So once that is done, automatically it pulls through your monthly your monthly dashboard. Because you have selected the dates here already, automatically it's going to reflect in the particular month where the date applies to. So you don't have to do much about that, and you just continue updating either daily or weekly or monthly, depending on how it's convenient for you, right? So after doing that, you can always come to your monthly dashboard, and from your monthly dashboard, you're going to see the overview. You don't need to input anything in your monthly dashboard, it automatically updates. So everything you've inputted in your budget shows here. So you can see what your budget looks like monthly, weekly, the items summarized here. And when you come to each of the calendar, you can see your upcoming bills for mortgage, for payday loan, for you see in every of the dates you see the upcoming bills, right? Another beautiful thing about this calendar is that you can check the ones that you have paid. For example, let's say this mortgage has been paid, you just check it, and once you check it, the figure automatically adds up here. If, for example, you've paid your transport, you check it, it adds up. See, the figure is increasing. I'm going to do another one just to make it an example. Say you paid another mortgage on this date, you say it becomes 900. So that's how the calendar works. So you're going to see your top 5 spending categories here automatically. You don't need to press anything, you don't need to type in anything. You're going to see here. So you see the summary of your spending and your budget here also. Yeah, you can also see the different categories here. You don't need to type in anything. It automatically updates itself as long as you've populated your transaction log and your budget. So from here, you're going to see the figures that you have imputed for your income, for your fixed expenses, for your variable expenses, for your debt and savings, everything from January down to December. So as you keep updating also, the annual dashboard is also automatically updated. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that this spreadsheet is very easy and comfortable to use because you don't really have to update much. Everything has been set up for you to use very easily. Your budget, you can set it up once and automatically push through the year. Your transaction, just input the figures weekly or monthly, however you feel, then automatically it populates in the dashboard. Just go to the particular dashboard that applies to the months you are working on, and you see everything ready made for you. I hope you understand what I've said so far. But if you have any questions, just drop a message or a comment, and I'm going to respond to you. I wish you all the best in your financial year. Thank you.